Hello, hello. Welcome back to Tifosi Time, the Serie A podcast that has more platforms than subscribers. Welcome back, fellas. I hope you're ready to talk about Serie A, why it still might matter, because some devastating news came out this week that threatens football as we know it. So, let's hope that's not the case. Say hello, people.
Some would call it super news, okay?
Super news. Super crappy news. So my name's Frank. This is Dan, Chris, and Pietro. Say hello, guys.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
All right, let's just get right into the craptastic news that came out. Who wants to sum it up in case people haven't, been on the internet at all?
Chris is going to sum it up because I think he has all the info pulled up on the screen. But this is news that obviously broke very, very recently, within the last day or two. So, Chris, you want to just briefly touch upon this or what you found out about the Super League? What a great name. What a great logo. Look at that crap. I make better logos than that. Are you kidding me?
It's pretty bad. I don't know. Keep in mind, this is still all fluid. Not all the information is out yet. But what essentially is doing is taking all the good teams or high-profile teams from each league and staying away from the Champions League, leaving that tournament, forming their own tournament to replace it, essentially screwing over the rest of the teams in Europe. There's going to be 15 founding teams. There's 12 listed here. They still haven't released the other three. I think it's 6 English teams, 3 Italian, and 3 Spanish teams as of right now. It's going to be a tournament of a total 20 teams. The other 5 that are coming in are going to be awarded on merit, whatever that means. So
maybe there's 5, the winners of each league go in the next year, something like that, I would think.
Yeah, you would think. To me personally, it's just a way for the rich teams to get even richer. And there's opinions about this. People are really pissed. I don't know. It's kind of a shit show. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, obviously money is the whole factor in this, and their explanation is because of COVID. It's a needed move because they've lost so much money, and this is a big way to get a big influx of money for all of these teams. And I say to that, every team lost money. Mm-hmm. Why are they so special that they get to go into this? Like Benevento lost a lot of money too. They could use it. Why? So, Juventus can't even win the Champions League, and they want to get in this league. That's the funny part.
Yeah. So really quickly too, one thing that I didn't add was JP Morgan apparently is sponsoring or funding this, and one of the things this is not a competitive thing for the leagues because one of the things is each of the founding teams are getting about $3.5 billion to just fund the operation.
But there is a lot to talk about this Super League. First of all, it's been more than 20 years they're talking about this. The whole thing there is, they make the big team. They make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
They do something they do a tournament in America. In other words, nobody go down, nobody go up, nothing, right? Now they pick even the 5 team wherever they want, merit.
Yeah.
You don't know what. I understand they could invite 1 year Napoli, 1 year Roma.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, that's the whole thing. Where's the incentive for anyone?
What is the incentive? Is nobody go down. On the other hand, if they don't do something about the UEFA this year with the pandemic, they should give some money to the team, which they never did. They kept for themselves. They should now. You have to understand that this big team is the most they have the audience. Right? Now the problem is they nobody go down, nobody this thing, and the other problem is how they participate to the local championship, like the Juventus, Inter, Milan, and the Italian championship. How many people to have on the roster? 30, 40?
Well, so that's the thing.
So they play the best player. They play in the Super League.
If there's no consequences, that Juventus can just take this money and play all the scrubs in the Super League because you don't have. You're not going down. You're not going like you could save all your people for the regular season because who cares? You got the money.
But they don't care about the money, so they don't care about the win. They don't win.
So
go down.
Best case scenario, this is a money grab meant to just renegotiate the split of revenue.
Yeah.
Right? In the current leagues. It's a power grab by the top 15 teams to say, you know what? We want a bigger share of the Champions League money. We want a bigger share of the TV money in our countries, right? At the best case scenario, that's what this is. At the worst case scenario, this is a power move for money that's going to literally cripple soccer or football in each of these countries because
it's going to ruin it.
By having a Super League, Champions League's out the window, right? The local national leagues, again, without the bigger clubs drawing the sponsorship money, the other teams, the leagues don't get money. They can't filter that down to Serie B, Serie C. That goes away. Those teams don't survive.
Yeah,
and without the
problem is, Frank, I don't know. They have to divide the money, among the Italian Serie A team, right? How much you get Juventus? How much you get a Benevento? Benevento, let's say, what audience has it? TV audience has.
Well, okay, so that's what I'm saying. So in best case scenario, this is a way to pull the trigger on a threat that's been there for years, right? And say, we're going to leave unless you can redistribute this money where we keep more of it, right? Here's the other problem with that, though. When you compete in a league that's already, for the most part, inequality, right? Teams like Benevento already don't compete, right? If you get more money to the top 3 or 4 teams in every league, the competitive balance of the league gets horrible, right? So, we're sitting here doing a Serie A podcast talking about who's going to get relegated or who's going to hit the top 4 spots, right? That keeps interest. Right. When you have, in our league, it's always the same 4 to 6 teams every year. When you give 3 teams 300 million extra or whatever they're going to have, well, good luck with the competitive balance, right? Like there's one thing about soccer, right? It's the global game. It's you have countless stories of poor people coming out to become champions and national heroes, right? Kids playing on the street with no socks, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to bring everyone together, and this is alienating 90% of your league. Each of the leagues are getting alienated and put to the wayside, which is a disgrace.
The main problem, you know which one is after? I mean, even us, the defend for Juventus, Manchester, Real Madrid, at the end they say, hey, what will we go for? If nobody go down, nobody,
Yeah.
Well, this is pure money. I mean, look, there's a loose analogy here, right? For sports fans in general. Baseball used to have, a long time ago, they used to have an all-star game, right? And then they introduced interleague play. National League would play the American League a couple games, 5 games a year. And then all of a sudden it became, well, you're going to play 20 or 30 games versus these other, and it became not special, right?
Well, so
the Champions League is to play the best teams in these other countries to try to win. If I'm playing them every week, what do I care? All I'm doing as a fan, if I'm a Juventus fan, so wait, now I have to travel to England or to Spain for an away game? I don't have money. I don't have a job. I'm going to go to England to go watch the away game. That goes out the window.
So I was just saying this. I was just saying this to Dan. We were just streaming Football Manager, and I was just saying to Dan, like, the cool thing about the Champions League is, like, you don't play each of these teams every week. It's like every year it's
special. Yeah,
so
special
it like meant something. So now in this new tournament, right, this new league, you're going to have 10 games a season with these teams every year, so it loses effect.
Yeah,
like it doesn't have the
same. And North made a good point in a comment. He's saying, that Arsenal select Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Basically, what he's saying there is that every other team is really just going to be feeder teams for these teams. Oh, I want you. You're coming to my team. Oh, I want to play in this tournament, so I'm going to Juventus. I'm going there. It just makes all the other teams totally irrelevant and kills them. It's awful.
Yeah, it is not. There's nothing. If this happens, football as we know it is done. Like, it is done. You're going to have this league with 20 teams. You're going to see it. I would not be surprised if Serie A crumbles. We all know the economy in Italy is horrible as it is. You have teams in the lower regions going out.
I wouldn't be surprised if I get tired to watch even the Super League.
I don't think I want to watch it.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's going to be an element of people are going to be like, oh, okay.
Let's say my team. The first 3 games you lose and they don't have a chance to win. What I watch them for?
Well, that's another point, right? If you're in week 15 and your team's in 7th place, what's the benefit of that? Why am I watching that game? What, to say, oh, I'm watching a game between Real Madrid and Juventus? Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, and there's no consequences for them to even win this game or lose this game. It doesn't matter because they're going to be in it next year.
Well, part of the
no, go ahead, Frank.
Go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead.
All right, well, no, I'm just going to throw out, like, let's not, like, and Agnelli looks terrible right now, by the way. Like, he's the head of that, like, UEFA, like, president or whatever, and, like, they agreed on, like, all the teams signed off on the Champions League expansion and changes, and then they pull this crap. Like,
well, that's what makes me think this is more of a negotiation play for the revenue.
Hopefully.
Right? Because this has been a threat for a long time, and now with COVID and people losing funds, right? They're looking for some type of concession in terms of the TV money or the leagues, right? I don't think these teams. Let's even leave Serie A for a second. These teams with 100 years history in England, right? They want to leave. They want to leave the Premier League. They want to leave the national championship to go play in this Super League that they create. I hope that's not really the short-sighted plan that they have.
Well, so they're not leaving their leagues. They're still going to be in their leagues. It's just not going to mean anything to them. Like, they don't care about the leagues really because.
Okay. Let's say they stay in the league, right? Now you have these 12 teams getting what is it? About $300 million each extra.
15.
Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying, like 3 teams in each league or 6 teams, whatever it is, how does that help the competitive balance of your league? And especially if they're treating it like a second tier tournament, right? Like, all the big players go play midweek in the Super League, and then you're going to see the U20. Like, how does that help your league? Like, it doesn't help at all.
So they've gotten a lot of backlash from everyone. Like, I haven't heard one positive thing from anyone, from ex-players, current players, other owners who aren't in it obviously are coming out against it. Like, it's been a really bad reception, and I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, I'm kind of with you on that, where there's going to be some concession and they're going to squash this whole thing. But just the way they went about it is just.
I agree. Awful. I think they did to renegotiate to get more money.
I think so. But the backlash is already there. Like, these people, Agnelli's got a bad stamp on his name now. All these 12 clubs, you come back and it's like, okay, because now the leagues and UEFA are the part of, like, okay, the power trip, right? Like, what sanctions can we put on you? Do we take away points? Do we take away money? Do we ban your players from playing in the European World Cup, right? Like,
that's what they're talking about, right? Banning them from, national teams.
They can do whatever they want because UEFA and FIFA.
No. Listen, they cannot do, because you see, if the national team cannot get the best player from Juventus, Milan, and Inter, what national team you wear?
It doesn't matter. Think about it. UEFA.
Don't even watch that.
Yeah, but think about the structure, right? UEFA
how many times we say, I have to watch it. This is scrub.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. UEFA is a sanctioning body within FIFA. If UEFA doesn't want the clubs to leave, and FIFA's going to say, screw it, we're going to back you up on that.
The Italian league, like they say, they're going to spell Inter, Milan, and Juventus. If in the Italian championship you spell those teams, who's going to watch the championship?
Well, that's the whole point.
I would have done it.
That's the whole point that we're talking about. That's the whole point we're talking about.
All 3 of those teams, I would announce today they're forfeiting the rest of their games the rest of the season. All 3 of those teams. I would have fined them like crazy, and I would do that in all the leagues.
Because I'm assuming each of these governing bodies, right, of Serie A, of the Premier League, they get money from the Champions League, right? They must get money from the Champions League, right? So if this Super League has these, and the Champions League goes away, because no one's going to care about it without these teams, right? So even if you have it, it's going to become like the Euro League. right?
Mhm.
So the money's going to go down. Those leagues are saying, okay, you're killing our revenue. We're not getting any money. So I don't understand who's going to give and take here, the rich teams or the leagues that are already struggling.
So they're already talking too. Like UEFA's already said, like we're going to get rid of like the Champions League this season.
Yeah,
they're going to
kick the
eliminate
teams
all
out.
these teams already, which I'm for. Like, go ahead, kick them out. This is bullshit. Like,
well, that would be one way to show that you mean business, right? Kick the teams out, advance the other teams, and just take the bullet on the horn 1 year. But they have contracts too. Right. So like, I don't know if they can really do that because they have TV contracts and I don't know if they can really do that.
Yeah. Producer Dom asked in the chat, do they definitely lead the Champions League if they play the Super League? Yeah, you're not in the Champions League.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a Champions League anymore. You can forget about it.
The Champions League might exist still, but those teams aren't going to be eligible for it or playing it.
Yeah, because you're going to have second tier teams in it. Yeah.
The Super League, the champion, if the best team play in the Super League.
Yeah, who cares about the Champions League?
How you call yourself a champion?
Yeah.
First of all, like, I don't know. Like, is Arsenal good? Why the hell are they in this tournament?
Well, it's not even
because a lot of it is
reputation.
I get
the rich club. The rich club.
Like,
they're rich.
So that's why I think, is this more of a power grab from the Champions League in terms of money than their national leagues? Like, that's what I wonder. Because we know Juventus, let's take Juventus, right? Those teams have been struggling with Serie A to see like how is the TV money split, right? They've been fighting that for years. You know, they think they should give away less of it. The other leagues say, well, we need to get something to be competitive, right? So is it more towards the national leagues that they're trying to get more money, or is it the Champions League? Because really this is an attack on the Champions League. Because the way they structured it is like, hey, we'll keep playing in our national league, but midweek we're going to play in the Super League, right?
Frank, the whole thing is, I think they have to get an agreement. UEFA has to come to, with this big team and give a little bit more to this.
Yeah,
but it's also holding them hostage, right? Like,
no, it's not all those stuff. If they put on TV, how many people? When Juventus play, you have 7 million, 80 million in Italy. When somebody else play, you have nobody.
Yeah. So if restructuring is what they need to do, then they need to sit down and do it. And I think that's the play here. I think that was the whole point of the.
But there's also a codependence, right? There's a codependence. Like Juventus is a great team; they get the most viewers. But without the other 20 teams, there is no Juventus. There is no Manchester United, right? Like without opponents, you don't exist. Like if these were the only teams that existed in their league, like they would have no one to play. There'd be history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, think about it. The best team, this 12 team that left, live the championship. Who's going to be left in there?
Nobody. Exactly.
So, what is it? Where they make the man?
So that's why I think they're holding the leagues. They're holding the leagues hostage, right? But like the fact of the matter is, like, let's not act like the other teams are in good financial standing.
No, that's the sad part. It's like they need the money just as much. Maybe not just as much because payrolls aren't as high, but like you're telling me Camiso doesn't need money. Like he spent so much money and he's got 0 fans since he started owning the team. Like you feel bad for the guy.
Let's say something else. Let's Inter, Juventus, and Milan, they still want to play the Italian championship, right? You already complain there is too many games.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've been trying to drop the team from Serie A from 20 to go to 16.
Yeah.
They had the 16 team.
They should drop it.
That's one of the solution, right? So you would have less team because if you never mind, you can afford to be.
Well, think of that too. If you're complaining about the share with less teams, you're getting more of a share. So that's part of the reason too that they want that.
Yeah. There is a lot of game to play between national team.
I saw one breakdown that said the way it was formulated.
People you have turned the roster.
Though I saw one thing that said the way it was formed potentially, like at the least you play 20 games in this league. The most with the playoffs, you play 27.
That's absurd. That's a whole nother season.
So if you play 27 there, and Serie A is what? How many games?
38.
38, right? 27. How many games? That's double
plus international games. Plus the Italian Cup.
You start in August.
Yeah, that's the thing. They said they were going to start it as soon as possible, essentially.
What is the advantage? Like this to me seems like something you would start for 3 years and people would get tired of it. Because to your point, to be like, okay, great. It's week 10. My team's the middle of the table, right? It's not their year. What the hell am I playing for? I can't get relegated.
Well, listen,
I can't go up.
When you hear reports that Juventus needs to make up $100 million, you know why they want to do this. It's
no. Well, you know how you make up your shortfall? Manage your club better.
Yeah.
Manage your club better.
I agree with that, but they want the easy way out.
You want to do something to fix it? Put a freaking salary cap in there. Put something. Put some rule. Do something. But this isn't the way.
They say they tried to put a salary cap.
Yeah, because they don't want that either.
They champion, dude. You
can't do it unless all the leagues do it. You can't.
Well, yeah, it would have to be everyone. But my point is, you can't come now and go, oh, we had a global pandemic. That didn't hit everyone else.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? It hit everybody. So the point, and there's plenty of these clubs, by the way, that lose money even when they don't have a global pandemic because they spend so bad.
Especially in Italy.
Yeah.
So don't act like that's the reason.
Right? Lose money. I understand that the UEFA keep a lot of money for themselves. In this case, since we had the pandemic, they should have given some help to all the team. Why they?
Well, that we don't know. Do we have an idea of how much a lot of the
I don't know the figures or anything like that. I don't know.
It's like that. They keep us.
Well, if that's the case, they should help. But
so, what teams do you help though? What teams do you help? You know what I mean? Like that would be like, what would you give?
You have to split it. Yeah, you can't.
What are they going to get? 4 million each? There's a lot of teams.
You have to give us some. What they keep it for themselves.
I don't know. That's part of the. I think that's the negotiation.
Where they get the money from the team. They get the money from the team for the player. So what they give to? They put some they keep it for themselves. So in a situation here like this, they should give them to, because they didn't have the people to go to see the game.
They couldn't make the ticket money. They can't do any. There's a lot of money that they missed out on.
The situation does suck, right? But I don't know how the owners that are in this founding teams, they're saying this will save football. I don't understand that at all.
Not at all. I don't see that rationale at all. That saves them. Right, and let's be clear, right? Like we know this is a business, right? Like these clubs are businesses, so this is like capitalism. Go make as much money as you can. The problem here is that when you're talking about something like soccer or football, right? Like in these countries, they're so deep like stuck into the fabric of the culture that it's like a public trust. Right, like when you say, "Hey, we're going to yank this apart and potentially ruin,"
it's more than a business to the fan. It's part of their lives. It's what they want. They live for it on the weekends. I get to see my team for 2 hours and I can forget about my, rest of my life. So yeah, it's thought in two different ways from the perspective of the owner and fans.
We have to think of two things, right? To say there is a 15 team, they have a Super League. So this 15, they're going to be there, make their money every year, right? And 5 they invite, right? Now, what's the point? They don't go down. They don't do nothing. What's the point?
Well, those 5, I don't think they really think they're going to be invited. I think they're thinking those will be the champion winners because they know the Champions League is going to go. So they're going to offer them. They're going to offer them money. They're going to say instead of going to the Champions League, when you win Serie A, come here.
But as of right now, too.
Right now, it's Bayern, PCG. Yeah. They say no.
They said no.
Credit to them, by the way.
Good for them.
Credit to them for saying no.
So it's going to be left.
Monopoly. It's going to be,
they're Celtic. I mean, it depends how deep they want to go into this thing, right? To get that appeal. Remember, this is more of a marketing dollar thing too. Yep. So, I mean, there's certain.
It doesn't matter who they take. It's whoever's going to make them money. That's who they're going to invite. That's all that matters.
It's just, I don't know. These games lose meaning when you play this many games versus teams.
Well, but like Chris said though, this is changing. It seems like by the hour with different information. I'm sure by next Monday there'll be a whole different spin on this and new info out. But obviously we had to talk about it because it's what everyone's talking about. And I think everyone's on the same page.
What the rest of the team say? What I pay for?
Yeah, exactly.
It's pointless. Yeah.
You lose the motivation, the incentive for everyone involved and not involved. But anyway, if you have any other comments on that, you guys can comment. Let us know what you think.
So we have a Liverpool fan of 40 years in there, and I don't know if he caught the early tirade we went on around the stupid league. So from an English perspective, I think we know the answer, but we're assuming the fans are up in arms. But give us an idea of what you've been hearing in the pubs. What are people saying about this league, and is there going to be straight?
Nobody goes to the pubs.
The pubs are open.
Oh yeah, we can't even go to the pubs because stupid COVID. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, where are these exactly? That's what we were saying before. It's a mess. The whole idea, the whole thing is a mess.
I think it's a power grab for negotiation. I think they're trying to get more money out of the Champions League kitty. That's my hope.
Yep.
They deserve it too.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, but
theoretically, yeah, but
threatening like that they're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, the problem with that is even if they do get more money, right? Like, do you think that's the last time they're going to ask? Like, they're going to get more money, they'll restructure 5 years, 10 years, they'll be asking for more. That's just how it's going to work.
Greed is greed.
So they're already changing the Champions League by the way, too. Like, they approved it to 36 teams. Instead of playing each team twice in the first round, you're playing 10 games. So it's over another 100 games they're adding to the tournament. So there's more money to be had. They're just really, really greedy.
You know what it is? Another thing is each team play 9 games. 9 different teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, at the end, the best two over the round, they're going to do final. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an MLS style like playoff.
Yeah, which I hate. I hate that the MLS style sucks.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's flawed with so many things, right? And the thing I have the biggest problem with it is just what it does to the structure of the other leagues from the the pyramid structure, the lack of money going to pull out of all the national leagues, and just the mere fact, like, you're throwing away history, right? Like, there's let's look at Juventus Torino, right? If they got kicked out of Serie A, let's say, which we say would never happen. All these derbies, all these things that the teams aren't even equal, but the fans get up for that. The city gets up for that. You're just tossing that out. We're like, oh, it's over. We want some more money. It's ridiculous.
But the other thing is what Danny's saying is the thing. Like, if they put these restrictions on players saying you can't go play in the World Cup, like, no one's going to put up with that crap. Like, people want to play in the World Cup. You're not going to stop me from doing that just because I play in this stupid thing. So there's a lot of things. Like you said, if you check the website yesterday and you check it today, there's already things that have changed.
But even they don't take the people from the Super League, the national team, what performance they can give all this team without the best player.
They won't, but that's going to be sanctioned on them by the governing bodies, right? Like, it's not like Spain or Italy is going to say we don't want these players. They're going to say you can't use them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to do that too, by the way, because that would diminish the World Cup. That'll diminish the European Championship, right? Because, like, all right, like, you don't have the best players from Spain, from Italy, from England. Like, I mean, it's already bad enough when one of these teams don't qualify for one of these tournaments, right? Like, Italy didn't qualify last World Cup. For me, it was, obviously it meant a whole lot less. So I'm just hoping that this is both sides negotiating hard and landing on somewhere that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's true. It is going to cost a lot of money. I'm not paying extra money to see this tournament. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you say that, and a lot of people are saying that, but come time the tournament, I guarantee you, people.
That's the question.
I
kind of agree with Dan. I'm like, I wonder if the majority of the teams that are in it will watch, right? And here's the other point that I heard someone say, and I thought it was a really good point, right? So from England, Italy, this can destroy the leagues. But what about all the, let's call them neutral countries? Like, if you're in Belgium, does the new stupid league, is that more exciting than, let's say, Serie A? Or if you're in Scotland, let's say, or US?
Craig, Belgium, I don't remember what other country they got together for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly with another country. Belgium, in other words, they get together to make it. So this is another revolution, yeah.
Yeah, and Danny said he's heard the same thing that I was saying earlier. That
we all
the
said
thing
that.
is that these clubs are just trying to, renegotiate the percentage of the pie they get, either in their domestic leagues or in the Champions League, right? Because the whole idea is, hey, you know what, we're the clubs that bring in the eyeballs, we bring in the sponsorship dollars, and we want a bigger pie. Like maybe that's it. Let's hope that's the best case scenario.
I think that is. I think they're going to cave on that, and they're going to give them more money, and then it'll be the end of this. But
also let's not act like that's a Band-Aid, right? Like that would keep everything intact for us. But let's not act like that's not bad for the competitive spirit of the game either.
It still is, yeah.
Right? I mean, you give into these clubs and you have all these small teams that are barely like maybe a team that makes a run up from the third division up to Serie A or Premier League. And now they got a budget of $4 million or whatever it is, right? I mean, it's just, again, it's not exactly helping the competitive spirit of the game, and that's what football is built on. It's built on some small club in some small city of 50,000 people going on a run, going up division after division, and doing something special, right? Yeah. Not going, hey, I'm on a league that I can't get knocked out of, and if I win. If I lose, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if you just go back to the beginning, like teams like Manchester United, 100 years ago, whatever, like, they were poor. They were working class people. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just changed so much. So, like, you just
listen. How much did we fall in love? How much did we fall in love with that Sutherland show on Netflix?
Oh my God. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you guys have seen it, Dan. If you've seen it, probably not as a Liverpool fan, but if you take away the fact that you're a fan of another club, recommend watch that Sutherland show on Netflix if you haven't seen it yet. But the people in that town, in that city, that's what these clubs are about. They're not about the TV dollars, everything. People and Ronaldo making $31 million net like a year. That's not what this is built on.
Really quickly, while he puts that up, Danny says Bayern and PSG already said no to this tournament, which is like props to them. We mentioned it already. Like good. That's what teams need.
You know what? I understand even Dortmund, even the Klopp, he say if he's not going to go on the Super League.
Yeah, Klopp came out against it too, and his team didn't.
Yeah, props to these teams really for standing up and saying.
Klopp is Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
So he say he's not going to go to Super League.
I mean, he doesn't want to be a part of it. I mean,
no, he think like the Germany,
Yeah, and also these are probably two of the richest clubs on their own, right? Bayern, good economy, Germany, PSG with the Arab, money. So they also probably are. They probably like the status quo a little bit because Bayern's always one of the top teams, and but good for them either way for sticking up for their fans. And I heard someone say, the German clubs, they know that if they pull a stunt like this, the fans are going to kick them out from running the team. Right? So, it's good to see someone acknowledge the fact that the fans have a say, right? That the teams are our public trust, and so to speak.
And that's why. And that's the truth. The manager wants that. The player hate that.
Yeah.
A lot of player from Lazio, they are against. Alberto, Reina, lots of. Yeah, I think everybody is against.
That's why in the end it's not going to go through. I don't think.
Listen, even if you're a player,
I guess they're going to get some money from UEFA. This team, they shut up. They say.
They're going to say, "Don't mention this shit again. We're giving you some money. That's it. It's over."
Or maybe who is JP Morgan?
You know what they should do? Do a tournament like they increase the team 36 team now, and make a 4, 5, 6 over 6, 4, 5, 6. So they would have a more game. All of them.
Well, they are. That's what they're doing.
They're doing that already.
No, to make it, them have more, enjoy it, make more money.
I think what they're going to do is because the majority of the money is in the TV money, right? So I think what they're going to push for is some type of split where the teams that are playing in the games or whatever, the televised games, get a higher share. I think that's what they're going to want, right? They're going to want a higher share of the TV revenue is my guess, right? And maybe like a 70% goes to the teams involved, 30% goes to the Champions League or whatever it is. I think that's what they're going to push for, a bigger split of the TV money, amongst other things. But it's definitely
fans coming back is going to help the teams too. This last year sucked. So,
but that's already they're counting that revenue, right? Like they're counting full stadiums. Like Juventus has full stadiums. Like these clubs have full stadiums. Like that's not they're using that as an excuse now. But that's not what the goal is, right? You can fill all their stadiums next season, and they're still going to not be where they want to be. So,
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm sure, like I said, next week we'll have a totally new story to this.
Yeah, let's hope it's gotten scrapped.
Exactly. Let's hope it's like, oh, cool, we figured it out. This is not happening.